Hey everyone, Jedi Mike here. I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the new horror film Smile 2. About to embark on a new world tour, global pop sensation Skye Riley begins to experience increasingly terrifying and inexplicit events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and pressure of fame, she must face her dark past to regain control of her life before it spirals out of control. This film is directed by Parker Finn, and this is a sequel to the first film, Smile, which was honestly a knockout of the park and obviously very, very successful, which is followed by a sequel, which is this film, but with the new lead with Naomi Scott. Now, when I was watching this film, coming from the first one, I was still the entity of the smiling, entity, the demon, which you want to call it, and have that being put in the premise of a pop star when everybody's looking at her and smiling at her. What did that do to somebody's mental psyche and stuff, right? That was a very interesting concept. But Naomi Scott, I just want to say she owned this film. Honestly, even I think that surpassed the first film as a female lead. She definitely owned this in terms of just her portrayal of this character, Skye Riley, this pop star. But honestly, the actual trauma that's going on with this woman, but also her fears, her anxieties, her guilt as well, how she translated that in her performance. She does a really good job in terms of owning that. But I want to kind of talk about just in terms of the scares and the actual deaths that happen in this movie, because they definitely take it to a whole nother level, as in the perspective of a pop star. But going from this, they do something very interesting in this film that about questioning your reality in terms of what is real and what is not. And this is a direct continuation from the first film. Like, the film starts off right where the last one picked off, with the continuation of Joel, a character Joel, played by Kyle Gallner, and that spirit entity get traveled down, get passed on, as the character Skye, she gets this demon entity passed down to her from a character Lewis, played by Lukas Gage. Now, going to this again as a person dealing with their trauma and dealing with like sense of regret and guilt, this character Skye, one, is not really a good person. She's not a good person at all. It definitely clearly established that when you see the relationship she has with her friends, with her own mother, and kind of just seeing how the story plays out in terms of her character. But also, this whole thing was based off of an incident that happened to her a year prior, where she got in a car accident where I guess one of her friends got basically passed away, and she survived, but definitely was greatly injured from that. But she had some scars from that accident, and she's still healing from that. Hence, she's getting into substance abuse and other things and stuff like that, not making the best choices for herself. But the way that this entity kind of also put her in perspective of revealing areas of her trauma and her guilt, I felt that was the writing of this movie was very interesting, because again, it plays off this of this mental warfare of this person questioning what is real and what is not, but also keep reminding them of the guilt and trauma that they've dealt with in their past, and refusing to not deal with that trauma and that guilt will have dramatic consequences, right? And they played it off in this film really well, in just terms again with Naomi Scott's performance. And I hope I will say this, how this film ends, and I won't spoil it for you, but it ends in a way that I will say is predictable if you've seen the first film. And they do something, very, textbook from the first film, which that might be a negative for some people. But for me, my thing is in terms of how they set the stage for the third film, with making this entity expand more to a more like global scale, right? Because you have a pop star, you have a concert, millions of people, cameras everywhere watching this person, right? And honestly, I felt that they did a good job here in terms of again playing with the audience point of view, along with the character Skye, her point of view as well, because you don't know what's real, what's not. But you also have a brief appearance of Ray Nicholson, who is Jack Nicholson's son. And honestly, hey, in a new DCU, they want somebody to play the Joker, they can find him. But yeah, I thought he had a very strong moment in this. But yeah, I felt what the way that they kind of play the story out in terms of his character Skye, that yeah, she's not a good human being, but at the same time, this entity is pulling the worst areas of her parts of herself in public view, right? And but at the same time, think of it as an average day, celebrity or famous celebrity, millions of cameras on them, people around them trying to leech off of them, but also they got make sure their reputation is clean and the XYZ and all that. And let's say if you're being a pop star, music artist, right, going on concert while you just experienced a traumatic event, but the show must go on, right? But they still do that in a very interesting way where they play this out with this smiling demon spirit to definitely cause a lot of chaos in this woman's life. But how this movie ends, again, it could be a negative for people, but in terms of like what's next, how did they go from here in terms of actually defeating this entity, or is this any defeating of the entity at all? Is it just, hey, is everlasting terror to haunt the roam rampant, right? Who knows, right? But at least I know the director Parker Finn had a very unique plan in terms of structuring this film. And this film I do believe will require repeat viewings, because there's a specific plot point that happens in the third act that's like, wait, what? Okay, I need to watch back like what happened at what moment to change this narrative from this point to this point in this story. And I felt that was the way that twist happened. I was like, wait, what? Oh, I gotta rewatch that again. And again, then that's good writing, but more importantly, that's good directing in terms of how you structure a story, and for the audience point of view to actually just kind of come completely surprised and have that twist pay off in the third act of that film. But that concludes my review. I hope you guys get a chance to see Smile 2, which is probably in theaters right now or on streaming if available. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.